What is up, guys? Tommy from SFJ Jeeping here, and doing a little step-by-step here. Jeep's finally on OEM half doors, but these are a little different than most OEM half doors. For one, they got power locks. They've got the indoor switch off a 2012 Plus. They've got heated mirrors. And they've got power mirrors. There's left, there's right, there's up, there's down. Now, for those of you who don't know, Jeep never sold the OEM half doors with all the electronic stuff. If you tried to spec out a Jeep with these half doors, it would cancel out anything electronic. So I'm going to go through a little step-by-step on how I did it, because I posted on Instagram and a lot of people were asking what I did and how I did it. So first up, I'm not going to go into detail with this step because there's a million videos on YouTube that go into detail on how to take off the inner door panels. But take off the outer door panel, take off the inner door panel. It's just pretty much a bunch of 10 millimeters on the inner. Outside is literally just screwdrivers and clips. And you are going to pull out three things. First would be your heated / power mirrors. Now, if you don't want to take all that stuff out of your full door, you just order these parts and you save yourself part of the process. But I decided to go half doors full time, didn't need my full doors, so pull out your power mirrors. Then here I pull out the entire system just because it's easier, but you really don't need all of this. You need this section here, the electronic power locking door latch, I guess. You need the wiring harness. It's nothing fancy, just whatever wiring harness would be correct for your Jeep for a set of full doors. And you're going to use all of these plugs except for the windows, which, if I'm correct, is this one. So you can just leave it dangling there, it's no big deal. You're obviously going to need a set of half doors. And this part's completely optional, but if you want a set of this little 2012 Plus electronic door switches, you don't really need it. The key will do it just as fine, but figured it was a cool little gimmick to have. Now, next you're going to want to gut your half doors. This I will give you guys a brief walkthrough just because there's not a whole lot of videos on how to do it. But pretty much for the mirror, these two screws. In this case, it's just I have a cap that I got to take off. You got to screw back there inside the door latch. These two caps will pop off, revealing a screw. And then in there, there's a screw. So then you're just going to pretty much, with a plastic pry tool, just pop off the bottom. Or if you don't have one of those, a napkin wrapped around a screwdriver will work too. Just pry it off the bottom, and then you're going to lift up and push it out of the way. So there should be about 5 clips, if I'm not mistaken. Just pop them all off, and then push up, and it'll all come off. Okay, and then once you have the door panel off, what you're going to want to do is pull out the, you can call this a wiring harness, it's really just a couple of wires. The original wiring harness off of this. Just undo these two. It'll be a lot easier to just unbolt this and bolt on the one that's already on your full harness and trying to pull it out of there. Then you're going to want to pull off the latch. You're going to do that by undoing these 3 Torx bolts and then that 8 millimeter down there. And then once you get that off, you're going to just unclip these wires on that end. Don't unclip them off that end. Leave those there. You're going to reuse those. But on the other set, you can do either way. You can leave them there. It'll be a little hard to move things around. I pulled them out and just put them back in, and it worked out fine. But that part's totally up to you. So again, just pull out the wires, pull out the latch, and then we'll get to the next step. Okay, now that you have the half doors gutted, you're going to grab the whole latch assembly off the half doors, which is this side, and the whole latch assembly off the full doors, which is this side, and you're going to switch this part, the main module. Ignore all the tan stuff. You're just going to switch those. You're going to cross these over to that side. Make sure you have marked. A lot of the times they'll come marked factory, but like there I've got marked yellow's yellow. just to save yourself a good bit of confusion. And then pretty much it's just going to be like a slide out clip. It's just clips really holding this onto here. You don't need to unbolt anything, it's just clips. But yeah, ignore the tan stuff, just get to this. Pull this out, undo that, undo that, undo that. You may not need to. Oh no, just undo it on that side. The green, these two, pull that out, do the same, and swap them. Make sure you get them right, because if not, well, it goes without saying you won't have your locking doors if you put the non-locking latch in your half doors. Okay, the new harness on the half door latch should end up looking something like that. Every model here has different colors, but on mine is yellow and red. Yellow go over there, red go over there. There's the purple and pink in my case. Now, while you have it all cleared out, now is a good time to pull out the old lock. It'll be nestled back there somewhere. The lighting can't see it now, but it looks like that. It's going to have a little clip. I'm trying to see if I can find the old one around here in this mess, but I'm not seeing it. Well, regardless, it's a little clip that you pull out. You'll see it. You pull that out, and it'll literally just drop out. Okay, so there's what the clip looks like. You're just going to pretty much push this up through the hole. You're going to have to slide it around a little bit because it's got these openings, and obviously top one's a little different from the bottom, so you got to like twist it a little bit to get it in. And then you're just going to slide the clip right over it once it's inside the door. And that's really all you have to do for the manual lock, for the key lock. Okay, so then you're going to slide the latch in. You're going to want it to end up pretty much sitting like that, with the U shape coming out right here. Or where is it? Right there. So yeah, pretty much the best way I've found is slide it in sideways and then twist it once you're in here. And you just line it up with the bolt over here and the 3 over here and tighten them. Okay, now we're going to switch gears a little bit. We're going to go into the mirrors. So you're going to want to pull off the mirror cap, whatever you have here. It's just these 2 bolts here, no big deal. And in there, I'll see if I can get it to fit. But here, this box here is enclosing this area inside here. So with your cutting method of choice, just open a hole right there, because there you're going to have to feed the wires through for your power and your heating. So obviously these doors were never intended for that, so you got to open the hole in there, and then you can just run them in and access them through one of these many holes, which I will get to in a future step. Okay, so once you get the wire routed through there and out to the inside of the door panel, just go ahead and bolt in your mirror, and then comes the fun part, which is hooking up the new wiring harness. Now this is really what makes this, what's the reason all this is working, and it's really the simplest part of them all. This end is going to connect to your Jeep, so you just leave that hanging around there. This will just bolt up right back in the original spot. The clips are, all the holes for the clips are in the same spot as in the full door, so that's super easy. This you'll just leave there. You can tuck it into one of the holes, whatever you want. That was where the mirrors went. This is for that little button if you're doing the 2012 Plus button. Again, leave that free and handy. These 2 will go to the mirror. And then this one will go to the lock latch. Okay, so here it is all hooked up. This in there, just bolted in, strapped up, clipped in. I like to just tuck the window connector in there, all nice and out of the way. Got the 2 mirror hookups going back up towards the mirror. This going back up to the latch. And then this will get back connected when we actually fit the door panel, but now would be a perfect time to test that everything's working, so I just connected this sort of dangling there, and let's head over to the Jeep and make sure everything works before we button up the rest of it. Okay, so once you mounted the door, plugged everything in, make sure everything works, go ahead and, what I did was I drew myself a little template using the hole on the full door panel, and drew myself, you can barely see it there, but drew myself a little hole for the 2012 Plus lock switch. So you can really use whichever method you want of cutting that open. I personally, what I did was drilled a hole at each corner, and then just cut from edge to hole to edge to hole. And then you'll do a little trimming as this fits, and you'll put this in and out probably about 20 times before you get the fit perfect, but it'll get there. And then after that, it's just really mounting the door panel. Okay, so once you cut it, you just sort of pop this into place, and it should look something like that. Just clean off all your plastic shavings, and then you can go ahead and fit it back onto the door panel. I'm going to explain this now because the lighting may not be great, so I don't think I'll film outside to start. But pretty much you're just going to slide it down on the openings for the uppers, and then you're just going to push it down starting from the top, and then work your way down, and it'll settle itself into the plastic clips. And then once you have it sort of pushed into the clips, you just put back in the 3 screws from before and put the little plastic covers, and you should be good to go. Oh, and don't forget the screw on the door handle. Sorry for the awful lighting, but then once you got the panel on, all that's left to do is make sure everything works. Locked. Unlocked. Button works, and I already checked the mirror before starting filming, so I know that works. And then all that's really left is pop on your uppers, depending on the weather, or leave them off and go for a drive. Alright, thanks for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe. Have a good one.